If you're a fan of the Brady Bunch, you'll remember Marcia Brady, played by actress Maureen McCormick. Marcia Brady seemed like the perfect member of the family, and one that every young American girl could aspire to be like. But here's the kicker. She hated playing Marcia Brady on the Brady Bunch. By the 5th season of the show, she felt the scripts had gotten stale. She felt Marcia wasn't maturing as a character. She'd lost interest in the role and was eager to take on new roles following the show. But many key players in show business couldn't see Maureen McCormick as anyone but Marcia Brady. This took its toll on her career and her personal life. But this isn't some sob story. Maureen McCormick's story is one of triumph and determination. Let's look at how she felt about Marcia Brady and her extraordinary life and career. The Brady Bunch was one of America's greatest sitcoms. It's an American treasure, and at the time it influenced popular culture. Today, it's part of the nostalgia that reminds us of a simpler time. One of the most notable characters in the show was young Marcia Brady, played by Maureen McCormick. Marcia was an example of the perfect young American girl whom we all grew to love. Yet roles like this can end up defining the actor or actress who plays them. In other words, they can stifle the performer's career. This is what Maureen felt about Marcia Brady. Not only had she gotten tired of the role, she began to worry how it would affect her career. Maureen had gotten tired of being seen as Marcia Brady. Even though this was the role that brought her fame, she was afraid the role might define her. She knew she could get typecast or lose out on roles because casting agents and audiences alike couldn't see her as anyone but Marcia Brady. Her premonition came true when she missed out on a great role in a great film. And before we tell you about that, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more. When the Brady Bunch was canceled after its 5th season, it came as a shock to many cast members. But Maureen McCormick had been preparing for this cancellation for some time. She was eager to move on to new roles. She was also eager to break out of the silver screen and try her luck on the big screen. Maureen auditioned for a role in the film Midnight Express. This was based on the true story of American Billy Hayes, who was arrested smuggling drugs out of Turkey. The screenplay was by Oliver Stone, and the movie was directed by Alan Parker. Needless to say, this was going to be a great film. Maureen auditioned for the role of the girlfriend of the main character, played by Brad Davis. She was excited about the role and felt her auditions went well. Unfortunately, she didn't land the role. It was played by Irene Miracle instead. To add salt to the wounds, Irene received a Golden Globe nomination for her role, and Midnight Express became a huge hit. This took its toll on Maureen. She felt let down that she hadn't landed the part. She realized that Marcia Brady had held her back. She later learned that the producers and director felt that audiences would hate to see Marcia Brady in a serious crime film that dealt with drug dealers. Maureen's biggest fear had come true. No one saw her as Maureen McCormick. They only saw Marcia Brady. She began to resent her work on the Brady Bunch. As this was a family-friendly show, it would prevent her from taking on more serious roles. She'd forever be seen as the goody two-shoes Marcia Brady, incapable of appearing in serious films like Midnight Express. While fans loved her performance as Marcia, she began to hate the character. It didn't stop her from finding work after the Brady Bunch, but there was a lingering fear that she'd never escape the role. She had a supporting role in the film Takedown and had bit parts in TV shows and television films. While she loved her work in Takedown, overall she couldn't fulfill her career ambitions. She wasn't getting any meaningful roles and couldn't completely escape Marcia Brady. After working on the Brady Bunch, Maureen became addicted to drugs. It became so serious it hurt her reputation in the industry. She auditioned for Raiders of the Lost Ark while under the influence of cocaine. Naturally, she didn't land the part, and Raiders of the Lost Ark became a huge hit. But this time she lost out on the role because she had become unreliable. Her drug addiction started getting worse, and she wanted to turn her life around. With help from her husband, Michael Cummings, she was able to eventually kick her drug habit. But she still had many challenges in both her personal life and her career. She decided she needed to become more public about her life struggles. She knew this might bring stigma to her, and she knew it might jeopardize her career. But she also knew she could save lives. She began telling harrowing stories of her addiction to drugs. She recalled how she would trade sex for drugs. She discussed how an older man gave her drugs at the Playboy Mansion. This was in exchange for being able to videotape her naked. She encouraged others to fight against their drug habits and look after their health. When her TV mom Florence Henderson passed away from heart disease, Maureen began spreading awareness of the importance of looking after your cardiovascular health. She also began to make peace with Marcia Brady. She received bit parts in TV shows and a few indie films. While these weren't the meatiest roles that she once craved, it didn't bother her. She published her memoir in 2008 in which she discussed how Marcia Brady haunted her. But since then, she's continued to act as Marcia Brady in reunions and spin-offs. This time, not to her chagrin. She's also appeared in many reality TV shows, ranging from Dr. Phil to Gone Country to Dancing with the Stars. She's now the star of her own reality show called Frozen in Time. It's a show where she visits homes and gives them a much-needed makeover. While she's seen as Marcia Brady by many, she's now trying to push being seen as Maureen McCormick, who has her own interesting personality and one that's completely different from Marcia. Maureen's life story is one of making peace and making the best of your situation. She's one of many talented performers who were defined by one role they took. This typecasting has haunted many actors and has ruined their lives. This is especially true of child stars, who are seldom able to continue their careers when they become adults. This has been true of Gary Coleman and Dana Plato, who weren't able to move on from their roles in different strokes and had troubled lives. Many other child stars don't even attempt to continue their acting careers and disappear from public life altogether. We've seen the rare few who have managed to continue living fulfilled lives following their careers as child stars. We're glad Maureen McCormick has been one of those stories. We wish Maureen well and are eager to see the success of her new show and her future projects. Now we want to hear from you. Are you a fan of Maureen McCormick? Do you think she was able to break out of the Marcia Brady role? Or do you think audiences will always remember her as the young teenager from the Brady Bunch? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.